All right, so episode officially number 1. Trying a little bit different camera angle so you don't get quite so much steering wheel this time around. So it is Wednesday. Just had a tearful drop off of my daughter at daycare, and I don't know what was going on there, but she would not let go this morning. But on Wednesdays, we're going to talk a little bit about professional stuff involving the realm of athletic communications. And today, I wanted to take a moment to focus on InDesign, which is a very important program that we use to create various documents that we have, media guides, game notes, just about anything you can imagine that we have to create that goes on a piece of paper or goes in a PDF. We create in InDesign, and it's a very powerful program. So powerful that I think it's very easy to lose sight of some of the really neat things that it can do. And one of those neat things is something called styles that I see not a lot of people use, and maybe I'm wrong on this. If I'm wrong on this, let me know. But setting yourself up with paragraph styles, with character styles in your document is something that is going to help you almost future-proof yourself when you want to change designs, when you want to make things look a little different within your designs. By tweaking those little paragraph styles and those character styles, you're able to maintain your content and give it a little bit different look. So, say you're putting together your biograph pages on your players. You set up a paragraph style that says exactly how you want all of your text to look in your in that biography page, and then you set up another style that says lays out how you want your stat lines to go. I mean, we all set up stats different ways. I'm sure some people do tables, things like that. Just setting up simple tabs, defining it as a paragraph style allows you to just take that information from wherever you're pulling it from, be it from tasks or be it from your website or some other website or wherever it might be, and instantly format it exactly where you need those things to go, and it saves you so much time when you're trying to create those documents. And it's real simple. You basically just set up your paragraph the way you want it. Be it, I want my first line to be this indent. I want it to be this font. I want it to be this font weight. I want it to be bold or italics or whatever. Leading, kerning, set up all your variables and all your formats, and just put it in there. Go to your paragraph styles, wherever it may be, depending on your version. I run on a CC, so I have the little widget on the left side, and or the right side, I guess. So it'd be over here for you guys, and just click in the box and say define new style, and it will have all the information that you just set up, that you've highlighted in that paragraph, and all you have to do is name it. Now, where it really gets neat is, and I'm going very high level. You can go in and dive deep, and there are tutorials. Maybe I'll try and link one of the tutorials to paragraph styles and to nesting styles in the comments or in the description. You're able to then use those styles and nest those styles within the dialogue. There's a setting to define what the next style is after this style is used. So say I have one that's a header paragraph, and I want everything in my first paragraph to be bold. My first line is bold for all my stats, to bold out all the categories, and then my first line or all my stat lines I want to be normal. So I'll have one that says that's called stat header, and call it bold. Or once I set out all my tabs, I'll set up my stat line, call it stat line. then you make the headers bold, and you go in and you make another one. It's called stat header. Based on stat line, it's just bold. And it's done. But you can tell it that after your stat header, the next style is your stat line. So now, what you're doing is you're taking that whole report, headers and all, slap it in, highlight all of it, and within your paragraph styles, when it lists out those styles, you pick stat header. But if you right click on it, or command click, there's an option to apply this style, then next style, clear overrides, all that stuff. But in that way, it sets up your first line as the header, and then it sets up every other line as your normal. So you've taken something where you're highlighting, you're clicking bold, you're doing this, you're setting your tabs for each of these different things, or your copy, or God forbid, you're copy pasting one set of stats everywhere, and now you drop it in, you click a couple of buttons, and it's done. So it's really a time-saving tool for those of us making those kind of documents. And on top of that, on top of the paragraph styles, you have another option called character styles, which are also a very important part of creating these kind of documents. And what a character style allows you to do is where a paragraph will set your rules for an entire paragraph of text. Until you hit the character turn button, it will do this for every thing that you type. But what a character style will tell you is, except for these few that follow these rules, change those. So, like for instance, in my bios, I will write, I'll have some kind of lead in that says, add NKU, or I'll have it where I'll have the year, and then I start doing the ellipsis sentences that we all do in our bios. But I like to have that section be bold, so that it kind of calls out and sets apart each year. And I think that's a pretty common thing for those of us writing bios. I mean, some people will set them apart in paragraphs. Some folks will I use one chunk of paragraph text and then set it apart with the bolds. I mean, it's what I do now. I may change it. I don't know. I mean, that's the beauty of this job, is we can change what we do from time to time. But in order to enable that, I set a paragraph style that says everything in this paragraph up until I put a colon in, my first colon, make it bold. And it just does it. And I can even setting that and nesting that character style inside the paragraph style. When you go in the paragraph style, there's a setting there for nested styles, and that's where you set your character styles to make those changes. And just telling it that that's how the style operates, I can do my typing directly into my document, and it's really neat, because I'll be a bold, I hit the colon, and all of a sudden I'm typing in normal text. It's really a neat thing to see anytime you're doing that kind of word processing, which you shouldn't be doing in InDesign, but nonetheless, sometimes we have to just type. So that's kind of the trick. I apologize for the bumps there. I'm actually on campus, and they have some rumble strips in between where I am and where I need to go, so I hit a couple of those from time to time. So that's kind of my pro tip, is take a little bit of time today or this week if you get a chance. I know we're all in the middle of our seasons, but if you get a chance and you have never taken a look at using styles within your InDesign documents, it really is a time-saving tool. And when you set this stuff up in the early going of your document design, it gives you a chance to really save a lot of time when you're going back, making edits, or even changing things up for the following year. So make sure you give yourself a chance to succeed there, and put those in. Give it a try. It's like anything worthwhile. It's a little bit of extra work on the front end that's going to save you a lot of time on the back end. So make sure you're checking that out, and catch those time savers when you can. it's the old Napa, pay me now or pay me later, right? So that's today's vidcast. If you liked what you saw, I'd appreciate a like. If you didn't like what you saw, I'd appreciate a comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong and how we can fix it and how we can make it better. You can check me out. I'm on Facebook. I am on lots of different groups, athletic, communications related, and otherwise. Just search me out. I'm facebook.com/SIDMike. If you want to get to me that way, throw me a friend request. That is perfectly fine. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Anderson SID. I am there. I don't tweet as often as I should, but I am getting better about it. So we'll see. Hopefully that will improve with the creation of these video casts. So this was episode 1 of the vidcast. We'll get it a good name eventually. But thanks for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow.